who are in that situation where you're grinding for rent, you have a lot of like stress in your life that you could focus on if you chose to. I know exactly what that's like. I've been through that. Most of my 20s was that, because I was never good with managing my money. I was usually playing to make rent. And I can't I can't remember a time that I was happy, like satisfied in my 20s because of all that stress. So the main thing I can offer is that you have to understand that the nature of control is counterintuitive. You don't get it by seeking it in terms of managing or manipulating your environment. You get it by coming to the conclusion, the very balanced and humble conclusion, that you cannot control the circumstance. Not in the way that you think, not in the way that creates the stress. Because what's actually happening when you're trying to control a circumstance is you're managing against a core belief that something in your reality is just fundamentally lacking. You'll never escape that unless you get to the heart of that, and how you do that is through authentic surrender. This is why I love drugs. In case you guys didn't know, I've done a lot of them. I've used them as a catalyst for surrender, basically. I've blogged about having some near-death experiences. Um, a couple of those have been on drugs, simulating near-death. A couple of them have been in real life. But the potency of a near-death experience is that you come to a critical mass, if you want to use the term that I outlined in the last video, where you have a choice in the moment of whether or not to keep fighting and struggling in the way that you used to think was normal and beneficial to you, or if you just want to say fuck it all and just give up. And in that moment of giving up, what you realize is that there's a peace there, which is what you were searching for through manipulating all of your circumstances and your environment, managing your life. If you can harness that after the fact, like come back into your real life with that core stability harnessed through that surrender that you realized, suddenly you see that control is not what you actually thought it was. It wasn't about necessarily manipulating the circumstances. It's about being able to have that calm inner poise. Some of you guys might call it presence, and being able to just be much more, I would guess you would say, non-reactive. And you can see how that would be very helpful in poker because you don't go on tilt. It's much easier to play your A game. Um, so just wanted to say that because I think it could help guys that are on that, grind for rent with other stress in their life, like families and debt.